This isn't just another celebrity charity update. And if you think it is, you're already missing the bigger picture. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have quietly made a decision that could reshape not only their own charitable future, but how high-profile philanthropy works in the modern media age. It raises uncomfortable questions about money, influence, accountability, and intent. And it matters far more than the headlines want you to believe. Right now, public trust in celebrity-led charities is under pressure, scrutiny is increasing, and audiences are no longer satisfied with vague mission statements or glossy press releases. That's why this decision lands differently. It forces supporters and critics alike to reevaluate what this couple actually stands for, and whether their charitable strategy aligns with their public messaging. If you care about transparency, power, and how public figures use social causes to shape narratives, this story is worth your attention. We're going to break down what changed, why it changed, and what it signals about the future of their foundation moving forward. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is where we cut through noise, ignore fan narratives, and focus on facts, logic, and implications others avoid. Subscribe now, because the full picture is rarely as simple as it seems. Stay with us until the end, because the implications extend beyond this couple, touching the wider charity industry, media accountability, and how public trust is built or quietly lost over time globally today. The topic surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision about the future of their charity is not just about organizational restructuring or administrative change. It represents a turning point in how their public identity, values, and credibility are interpreted by audiences worldwide. At its core, this discussion centers on control, responsibility, and long-term intent within high-profile philanthropy today. Since stepping back from official royal duties, Harry and Meghan have positioned charitable work as a defining pillar of their post-royal life. Their foundation has been presented as a vehicle for impact, advocacy, and social change. However, as visibility increases, so does scrutiny. Every decision related to funding, leadership, and strategic direction now carries reputational weight far beyond typical nonprofit operations. This is where confusion begins for many observers. Supporters often view charitable decisions through the lens of intention and personal values, while critics focus on structure, governance, and outcomes. These competing perspectives create a fragmented public understanding of what the charity actually represents and how it functions behind the scenes. The absence of clarity fuels speculation rather than informed discussion. The relevance of this topic today is heightened by a broader cultural shift. Public trust in institutions, nonprofits, and celebrity advocacy has declined globally. Audiences demand transparency, measurable impact, and accountability. Simply attaching a famous name to a cause is no longer enough. In this environment, even routine charity decisions can be interpreted as symbolic statements. For Harry and Meghan, the stakes are particularly high. Their public narrative is built around themes of independence, reform, and doing things differently. Any major decision affecting their charitable future is therefore seen as a test of consistency between words and actions. When expectations and outcomes appear misaligned, criticism intensifies rapidly. Another reason this topic matters is the growing debate over how personal branding intersects with philanthropy. Charities linked to public figures often blur the line between advocacy and reputation management. This makes audiences question whether decisions are driven by mission, effectiveness, or image preservation. That question sits at the center of this discussion. Misunderstanding this decision leads to polarized conclusions. Some interpret it as strategic maturity, others as retreat or recalibration under pressure. Without context, both interpretations remain incomplete. What's missing from most surface-level commentary is an examination of why such a decision would be necessary at this stage and what it reveals about long-term priorities. This video is designed to cut through assumptions and emotional reactions. Rather than framing the issue as praise or criticism, the focus will be on structure, logic, and implications. Understanding the reasoning behind the decision offers insight into how modern celebrity charities evolve when confronted with accountability demands. Viewers should also recognize that this is not an isolated situation. The challenges faced here reflect a wider transformation within the nonprofit sector, particularly for organizations connected to influential individuals. Governance standards are tightening, donor expectations are rising, and public patience for ambiguity is shrinking. Throughout this breakdown, we will examine what this decision signals about future operations, public trust, and strategic direction. We will also explore why simplistic narratives fail to capture the complexity of the situation. By the end, you should have a clearer understanding of what is actually at stake and why this moment matters beyond headlines. This introduction sets the foundation for a deeper analysis of the key arguments surrounding the decision. The next sections will systematically address the core issues, challenge popular assumptions, and connect the dots between intention, perception, and consequence. The goal is not persuasion, but clarity grounded in reasoned examination. The first critical point in understanding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's charity decision revolves around strategic autonomy and control. After stepping back from official royal duties, the couple has repeatedly emphasized the importance of independence in managing their public initiatives. Their ability to make autonomous decisions about their charitable foundation ensures that operations, partnerships, and initiatives reflect their values and priorities without external influence. This is particularly significant because prior affiliations with established institutions, while prestigious, often imposed structural and bureaucratic constraints that limited flexibility. Strategic autonomy matters because it allows for rapid adaptation in response to shifting social priorities and urgent needs. In high-profile philanthropy, slow decision-making or rigid frameworks can render even well-intentioned efforts ineffective. By consolidating decision-making authority, Harry and Meghan can prioritize projects that align directly with their long-term mission. This realignment also demonstrates a commitment to accountability, as autonomous governance enables clearer tracking of outcomes and metrics against stated objectives. Many observers misunderstand the importance of this autonomy. Critics often frame the decision as self-serving or as a retreat from responsibility. However, this interpretation ignores the practical implications of organizational independence. Without strategic control, any large-scale initiative risks being diluted by competing agendas, external pressures, or conflicting expectations from stakeholders. Autonomy ensures that every programmatic decision is deliberate and consistent with their vision, rather than reactive to outside criticism or public perception. Moreover, autonomy impacts perception. A foundation perceived as fully controlled by its leaders signals seriousness, intentionality, and clarity of purpose. In contrast, reliance on advisory boards, third-party institutions, or external governance may create ambiguity about accountability and decision-making authority. This distinction directly influences public trust, donor confidence, and media narratives. Finally, the decision to assert autonomy reflects a broader trend among celebrity-led initiatives. High-profile individuals are increasingly recognizing that influence alone is insufficient. Structural control and clarity of governance are essential for sustainable impact. In the context of Harry and Meghan's charity, this first key point demonstrates that their choices are rooted in strategic reasoning rather than impulsive reaction, establishing a foundation for the subsequent arguments we will examine. The second major point in analyzing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's charitable decision is alignment of mission and public expectation. One of the most challenging aspects of high-profile philanthropy is balancing the couple's stated objectives with the perceptions and assumptions of global audiences. Their initiatives, whether focusing on mental health, social justice, or community empowerment, must consistently reflect their articulated values. Misalignment between mission and public perception can erode credibility, reduce donor confidence, and amplify criticism. By carefully calibrating their decision regarding the charity's future, Harry and Meghan demonstrate an understanding that clarity of purpose is essential for sustaining influence and effectiveness. Maintaining this alignment matters because celebrity-led foundations operate in a unique environment where scrutiny is constant and public narratives can shape outcomes as powerfully as internal strategy. Every organizational choice, including leadership appointments, funding priorities, or restructuring decisions, is interpreted through the lens of reputation management. Ensuring mission alignment mitigates the risk of misinterpretation and strengthens the foundation's capacity to deliver tangible impact while preserving public trust. Many people misread this move as purely symbolic or superficial. However, the decision to restructure or redirect resources is grounded in a logical assessment of strategic consistency. A misaligned initiative risks wasting resources, undermining credibility, and diluting long-term effectiveness. By contrast, a deliberately aligned mission ensures that each action, communication, and campaign directly reinforces the organization's core values. Additionally, alignment affects internal cohesion. Teams working under a clearly defined mission are more efficient, better motivated, and able to execute initiatives with precision. Uncertainty in objectives or external pressure can create confusion and slow progress, which is particularly damaging in time-sensitive advocacy work. Finally, this focus on alignment highlights a broader lesson for public-facing charities. Visibility alone is insufficient. Leaders must ensure that operational decisions, public messaging, and organizational structures consistently support their stated purpose. For Harry and Meghan, this alignment not only safeguards the foundation's credibility, but also positions it to achieve measurable impact. This careful calibration of mission and expectation sets the stage for understanding deeper systemic implications, which will be explored in the next key points. The third critical point regarding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's charity decision centers on long-term sustainability and structural efficiency. High-profile foundations often face the challenge of balancing ambition with operational feasibility. Without robust systems, even well-funded initiatives can falter. By making strategic decisions now about the charity's future, the couple is proactively addressing sustainability, ensuring that programs can operate effectively over time, and that the organization's mission is not compromised by short-term distractions or public scrutiny. Sustainability matters because foundations tied to prominent individuals are constantly under public and media evaluation. Stakeholders, including donors, partners, and beneficiaries, expect transparency, accountability, and consistent delivery. Decisions affecting operational structure, leadership allocation, or funding priorities directly impact the organization's ability to maintain credibility and effectiveness. By implementing measures to secure structural efficiency, Harry and Meghan minimize risks associated with organizational instability or reputational challenges. A common misconception is that decisions of this nature are reactive or image-driven. Critics often interpret structural changes as retreats or symbolic gestures. In reality, sustainability requires rigorous analysis and planning. Ensuring that staff, resources, and leadership frameworks are optimized for efficiency allows the charity to continue delivering on promises without overextension or mismanagement. This forward-looking approach signals intentionality and preparedness, demonstrating that impact is prioritized over optics. Operational efficiency also supports scalability. Well-defined processes, clear leadership roles, and strategic allocation of resources enable expansion of programs while maintaining quality and consistency. Without these measures, initiatives risk fragmentation or dilution, which can undermine the foundation's overall credibility. Moreover, sustainable design safeguards against external volatility. Public scrutiny, media narratives, or changing social priorities can affect perception and support. By embedding efficiency and long-term planning into the foundation structure, Harry and Meghan reduce exposure to these external pressures, positioning their charity to withstand challenges while remaining mission-focused. Ultimately, this focus on sustainability and structural efficiency reinforces a key principle. High-profile philanthropy requires deliberate strategy and careful foresight. Decisions made today regarding governance, resource allocation, and operational management are not superficial. They reflect a calculated effort to ensure that the charity remains credible, effective, and impactful for years to come, laying a foundation for broader systemic implications explored in subsequent points. The fourth key point in understanding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's charitable decision focuses on long-term impact and legacy planning. High-profile philanthropic initiatives are not only measured by immediate outcomes, but also by how effectively they create enduring change. For Harry and Meghan, ensuring that their charity has a lasting influence requires decisions that go beyond short-term publicity or immediate funding cycles. By proactively shaping the organization's structure and strategic direction, they are laying the groundwork for a sustainable legacy that aligns with their values and public commitments. Long-term impact matters because it determines how the charity is remembered and evaluated in both public and institutional contexts. Foundations associated with public figures often face heightened scrutiny over whether their work produces tangible results or merely reinforces personal branding. By emphasizing legacy, the couple signals an understanding that influence is measured not by appearances, but by measurable outcomes, systemic improvements, and continued relevance over time. Many observers misinterpret decisions about legacy as symbolic or superficial. However, planning for long-term outcomes involves careful consideration of program design, leadership continuity, resource allocation, and governance. Each structural or strategic adjustment directly affects the organization's capacity to deliver on its promises consistently, ensuring that projects continue effectively even under changing external conditions. Legacy planning also communicates accountability. By explicitly considering the long-term implications of their actions, Harry and Meghan demonstrate that their decisions are not reactive or opportunistic. Instead, they reflect a deliberate effort to protect the credibility and impact of their foundation. This approach establishes trust among stakeholders, including donors, beneficiaries, and the public, reinforcing the perception of seriousness and intentionality. Finally, focusing on long-term impact integrates all previous key points: autonomy, mission alignment, and sustainability into a coherent strategy. Strategic control ensures autonomy, mission alignment secures credibility, and operational efficiency guarantees sustainability. Together, these elements enable the charity to maintain focus, deliver results, and create a legacy that withstands scrutiny over time. In essence, the fourth key point illustrates that Harry and Meghan's charitable decision is deeply rooted in foresight and calculated reasoning. It reflects a strategic vision that prioritizes meaningful, enduring influence, ensuring that their philanthropic efforts leave a lasting mark well beyond immediate headlines or transient media attention. The decision by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle regarding the future of their charity carries implications that extend far beyond administrative adjustments. This is a strategic move that touches on governance, public perception, and the evolving nature of high-profile philanthropy in the modern era. To understand the full impact, it is essential to analyze the broader consequences, both for the couple and the nonprofit sector as a whole. One immediate implication of this decision is its effect on public trust. Celebrity-led foundations are constantly under scrutiny, and transparency is increasingly demanded by global audiences. By making deliberate decisions about autonomy, mission alignment, structural efficiency, and long-term legacy, Harry and Meghan signal that their foundation operates with intentionality and accountability. This positions the organization as credible and professional, demonstrating that influence is wielded responsibly rather than arbitrarily. Maintaining public trust is crucial not only for ongoing support from donors and partners, but also for sustaining legitimacy in a media landscape that is quick to critique perceived mismanagement. Another critical dimension is the strategic messaging conveyed by this decision. The couple has cultivated a public image centered on independence, integrity, and reform. Any action related to their charity is interpreted through this lens. By restructuring and consolidating their charity's operations, they reinforce the narrative that their philanthropic work is mission-driven rather than reactionary. This ensures that their messaging aligns with actual operational decisions, reducing the gap between perception and reality, a frequent source of public confusion and criticism. The decision also highlights the importance of foresight in high-profile philanthropy. Sustainability and long-term planning are increasingly relevant in a global context where social issues evolve rapidly and attention spans are short. Organizations tied to prominent individuals face unique pressures, including fluctuating media narratives and public expectations. By addressing sustainability now, the couple positions their charity to remain resilient under changing conditions, safeguarding both operational continuity and strategic focus. Broader implications touch on the nonprofit sector at large, particularly the influence of celebrity engagement. Harry and Meghan's actions may serve as a model for how high-profile figures approach governance, autonomy, and legacy planning. Their emphasis on strategic control and alignment demonstrates that visibility and influence are insufficient without structured, intentional, and accountable operations. This may encourage other celebrity-led initiatives to adopt similar practices, raising standards for transparency and effectiveness across the sector. Additionally, this decision underscores the interconnected nature of autonomy, mission alignment, and legacy. Autonomy enables decisive action, mission alignment ensures credibility, and legacy planning secures sustainability. Together, these elements create a cohesive strategy that reinforces the foundation's impact. Ignoring any one of these dimensions could compromise effectiveness, highlighting why each is critical to the overall success of a high-profile charitable initiative. Finally, there are cultural and societal implications. The visibility of Harry and Meghan's charity decisions contributes to public discourse around accountability, governance, and ethical philanthropy. Audiences are increasingly aware that public figures' charitable work carries symbolic weight. This scrutiny encourages higher standards, not only for the couple's foundation, but also for peer organizations, creating a ripple effect that could influence nonprofit practices globally. In conclusion, the deep analysis reveals that Harry and Meghan's decision is a strategically calculated measure with multidimensional implications. It secures credibility, strengthens operational efficiency, aligns messaging with action, and ensures long-term relevance. Far from being symbolic or reactive, the decision exemplifies how high-profile philanthropy must integrate autonomy, mission, sustainability, and legacy to achieve meaningful, enduring impact. In summary, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision regarding the future of their charity is a calculated, strategic step that addresses autonomy, mission alignment, sustainability, and long-term legacy. Each element of this decision reinforces the others, creating a cohesive approach designed to ensure credibility, operational efficiency, and enduring impact. By prioritizing structure and clarity, they demonstrate that high-profile philanthropy requires deliberate planning rather than reactive measures or surface-level actions. This decision also reflects a broader lesson for public-facing initiatives. Influence and visibility alone are insufficient. Effective philanthropic efforts demand alignment between intent, execution, and measurable outcomes. For Harry and Meghan, ensuring their charity's direction aligns with stated values enhances public trust, strengthens internal cohesion, and positions the foundation to deliver meaningful results over time. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to subscribe Unscripted Stories for more in-depth analysis of high-profile events and influential figures. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video to join the conversation. Your engagement helps us continue providing clear, logical, and fact-driven content that cuts through misinformation. Stay informed, stay critical, and follow us for updates on how decisions like these shape public influence and philanthropic impact globally.